You guys, it is summertime, which means it's time to read some summer books. We love doing this video every year. We thought we would sit down, give you guys some summer book recs, and then go over books we have on our summer TBR.
We're gonna start with our recommendations. So up first, y'all knew I had to put this in here. It is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. We just read this one for a Literal Besties Book Club book like 2 months ago. Why was it so good? I was so nervous for you guys to read this because I love Abby Jimenez, and I know a lot of y'all, it was y'all's first time reading something from her, and she did a good job. In this one, we have two people who feel like they have this curse where every time they date somebody, that person ends up finding the love of their life after they break up. So they try and come together and see if they could maybe cancel this curse out. So there's all the drama with that, but then there's also a whole bunch of family drama that is highly entertaining, and they're on this little lake house, so the vibes are just summer. I kind of wish we would have saved it for summertime because it was such a perfect summer read.
The first one I knew I had to include, and it is The Happy Place by Emily Henry, another book club book that we've read. In this book, we follow two people who pretend to still be a couple for their friend's annual vacation trip. I honestly think you could read any Emily Henry book during the summer, but this one specifically we both really enjoyed. This book takes place at a cute coastal cottage. You meet all the friends and get to learn their relationships with each other. I really loved how all the characters had depth in this book. The relationships were realistic. This one's definitely perfect for the summer. I highly recommend if you've not read it yet.
The next one I have is The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I just read this one last month and absolutely loved it. So in this one, we're following two people who have to fake being married, but not like just recently married. They're supposed to have been married for 5 years, and they're traveling together on this private island for the guy's sister's wedding. So the whole family is there, and some of the family thinks that they're lying, so they're trying really hard to make it seem like they really are in love with each other and have been in love with each other. So there's a lot of funny moments in it, and of course, again, there's a lot of family drama in it. But I really liked that we were on this private island because it felt like everything was so luxurious and like the perfect summer getaway. So if you're going somewhere this summer, I think this would be a great one to bring with you.
So the next two books I have, I decided to group together because they give me similar feelings, and it is The Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy and The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. I think both of these are solid summer reads. They're very easygoing, they're light reads I think you could read on the beach. In Summer of Broken Rules, there is a wedding taking place at this very cute vineyard. There's a game of family assassin happening, and our main character makes an alliance with the groomsmen, very cute. And in Good Girl Complex, our main character moves to a beachside town and meets this townie, and they form a connection. Either of these would be a good summer read. I liked both of them. They would be good for like a light beach read.
Up next, I have Float by Kate Marchant. I read this a few months ago, and another one that I absolutely loved. This one was a really cute YA one. In this one, we're following Waverly, who has to make a decision on if she's going to go stay with her mom or her dad for the summer, and she ends up picking her aunt. Waverly is the kind of kid who just feels out of place and like she doesn't have anywhere that's really her home. So she ends up going to Florida to stay with her aunt, and there she meets a bunch of kids and a cute boy, and she just finds herself being really happy there. But then there's also the drama of what's gonna happen when summer is over and she has to go back to feeling alone. Perfect summer read. If you love The Summer I Turned Pretty and you haven't read this, I would definitely recommend this.
So these were all of my romance recs. I now wanted to get into some other summer genres. So I have some mystery thrillers for you guys. Both of these are YA mystery thrillers, but when I pick up a book for summer, I want something really fast paced that I could read in one sitting, and I felt that with both of these. So I have I Killed Zoe Spanos by Kit Frick. You guys know I talk about this one all the time. And a more recent favorite, Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls by Lynn Wingarden. In this one, it's a small town mystery. Two teenagers' lives become intertwined when one of them confesses to a murder and the other one is determined to figure out what actually happened. There are podcast elements to this storytelling, so I thought the audiobook was very good. And this one was a hidden gem in my opinion. Absolutely insane mystery. In this one, our main character is a high schooler named June, and she decides to investigate her ex-best friend's suicide. Super twisty and entertaining. Both of these easy to read in one sitting. If you're having like a pool day and you want a fast-paced mystery thriller, I'd recommend either one of these.
The next one I have is The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hilderbrand. I read this one last year and I haven't stopped talking about it since. This one I always describe as that show Below Deck, but for a hotel. So it's like you're following all of these people who work at this hotel, and you're also following the people who go and stay at this luxury hotel. This one's just another good summer drama. This is the book that has gotten me into Ellen Hilderbrand, and I have now collected a whole bunch of her books, so love her.
I wanted to include a horror summer rec one that I read last summer, and it is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This book is exactly what it sounds like. We're following two best friends, and one of them starts showing signs of being possessed. Grady Hendrix has a really grotesque way of writing. It's always very unsettling and creepy. The setting definitely helped it feel like a summer read. It takes place like on a creepy lake. After reading this book, I did come to the conclusion that I personally don't like possession books because even though I'm supposed to feel like scared and spooked, I feel mostly sad for the person being possessed. But if this is your cup of tea, I do recommend. It was a really fun one to read in the summer, and this is one of my favorite covers of all time.
The next one I have is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I do own it, but it is at the very bottom of my book of the month stack, and I tried getting it out, and I'm not going to put myself through that today. So here it is. I love Riley Sager, and I think this would be a perfect summer mystery thriller. So in this one, we're following a woman who investigates the disappearance and possible murder of her next door neighbor. So this girl just finds herself trying to get down to the bottom of this, trying to see what happened, and the twists in this were actually crazy. I think Riley Sager is just the best at coming up with plot twists. I remember at this one, I thought the story was over, and then he just hit me with a whole different plot twist, and I was like, okay, this is fantastic. And since it does take place on a lake, I think it would be the perfect mystery thriller to read if you're going to be on a lake this summer.
So my last rec, you guys know I needed to sneak in a little fantasy duet. So I have The Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I absolutely love this duet. It is a YA pirate fantasy story. It does take place on the ocean. There's a strong main character. There's action, adventure, a little bit of romance. I just think it would be perfect for the summer. It does remind me a little bit of the Fable duet just because of the setting and where it takes place. But if you're wanting to read some fantasy this summer, I think these are really easy.
That is it for our summer recommendations for this year, and now we are going to move on to the books that we plan on reading this summer. So I actually have The Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller on my summer TBR. Look at this cover. This is so gorgeous. Ever since I finished the Fable duology, I've been wanting something like that, and I know you always compared this to that. Let's read a little bit on the inside. There will be plenty of time for me to beat him soundly once I've gotten what I came for. I love her. Sent on a mission to retrieve an ancient hidden map, the key to a legendary treasure trove, 17-year-old pirate captain Alosa deliberately allows herself to be captured by her enemies, giving her the perfect opportunity to search their ship. This is hot. Is this YA?
Yeah.
It says Alosa has only one thing standing between her and the map, her capture. The unexpectedly clever and unfairly attractive first mate Ryded, but not to worry, for Alosa has a few tricks up her sleeve, and no lone pirate can stop the daughter of the Pirate King. This sounds so good. I do own the second book already too, so I hope I love this one so I can continue on with that second book.
So the next book we actually both have on our summer TBR, and it is One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serrell. This read has been a long time coming. We know we want to read it this summer. It does sound sad, but I think it's going to be the perfect summer book. We know the audiobook is narrated by Lauren Graham, and we love her. So I feel like even though the concept is sad, I think it'll be a great book. This is the one that takes place in Italy, and our main character just recently lost her mother, and as she's grieving, she goes on this trip they were always supposed to go to, and she encounters her mother's younger self there. Absolutely insane premise. Can't wait to read it though. Hopefully we love it.
Another one that I want to read this summer is The Counselors by Jessica Goodman. This one I've been wanting to read for a while. I've also been wanting to read her book, They Wish They Were Us. So if I like this one, I will also be reading that one this summer. But this one says, a twisty thriller about three best friends, one elite summer camp, and the dark secrets that lead to a body in the lake. This one just sounds like a really good YA mystery thriller. The front says, the summer of a lifetime was never supposed to include a dead body. I hope I love it.
This summer, I'm determined to read my first ever Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and it's going to be Malibu Rising, specifically because there's water on the cover, and I know you read it like 2 summers ago. Out of all the other Taylor Jenkins Reid books, this is the one that's always kind of called to me. I don't know why, but I know this book takes place in one day. It says Malibu, August 1983, the day of Nina's annual end of the summer party. I know this is going to be like a lot of family drama, and there's a lot going on. It says it's a story about one unforgettable night in the life of a family, the night they each have to choose what they will keep from the people who made them and what they will leave behind. I'm excited for it. The front says if summer could somehow fit into a book, then you'd find it in Malibu Rising, and I love that.
I also have Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett on my summer TBR, really just because it feels weird that I haven't read it yet, but every summer this book comes around, you know, the girlies recommend it, and I know it is a YA romance, and I think something about YA romances are always perfect for summertime because they're just nice, light, easy reads, and this one just screams that.
A mystery thriller I want to read this summer is The Last Last House Guest by Megan Miranda. I know Megan Miranda has a bunch of other mystery thrillers. I believe this will be my first book by her. So it says, Littleport, Maine has always felt like two separate towns, an ideal vacation enclave for the wealthy whose summer homes line the coast, and a simple harbor community for the year-round residents whose livelihoods rely on service to the visitors. Typically, fierce friendships never develop between a local and a summer girl, but that's just what happens with visitor Sadie and Littleport resident Avery. Each summer for almost a decade, the girls are inseparable until Sadie is found dead. While the police rule this a suicide, Avery can't help but feel those in the community, including members of Sadie's family, know something more than they're saying. I'm excited to finally get into this author's writing. I think this will be a perfect summer mystery.
Another summer book I have to read this year is The 5-Star Weekend by Ellen Hilderbrand. I think this one came out last year, so I'm a little bit behind. After tragedy strikes, Hollis Shaw gathers 4 friends from different stages of her life to spend an unforgettable weekend on Nantucket. Ooh, I don't think I would want to do that.
Yeah, like, because it's strangers, basically.
Yeah. Like, how are you going to mix all these people together? So she has a friend from her teenage years, her 20s, her 30s, and her midlife. She decides to host her own 5-star weekend on Nantucket, but her weekend doesn't turn out to be a joyful Hallmark movie. It says The 5-Star Weekend is a surprising and captivating story about friendship, love, and self-discovery set on Nantucket. It will be a weekend like no other. I loved the Hotel Nantucket, so I know I'm going to love this one as well.
The next one I have is Blackout. I know this has, I think, 6 different authors, and they've all come together to like write this one book, which I think is so interesting. I had to pick out this one for the summer because it takes place in summer. It says a summer heat wave blankets New York City in darkness, but as the city is thrown into confusion, a different kind of electricity sparks. There's a first meeting, longtime friends, bitter exes, and maybe the beginning of something new. When the lights go out, people reveal hidden truths, love blossoms, friendships transform, and possibilities take flight. I'm so excited for this. It looks like such a short read, and it says even love stories can glow when the lights go out. Such an interesting concept.
So the next one I have is Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto. I kept seeing this one come up as a summer recommendation on Book Talk, which I was really surprised because I don't know why I always thought this would be like a cozy fall read, but I guess there is palm trees on the cover, so I understand. What happens when you mix one accidental murder with 2,000 wedding guests and then toss in a possible curse on 3 generations of an immigrant Chinese Indonesian family? You get 4 meddling Asian aunties coming to the rescue. This author did write Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers, and I really liked that one. I thought it was a perfect cozy read. I'm hoping this one's also going to be like funny but also light and just perfect for summer.
The next book I have on my TBR is Daisy Hates and the Great Undoing by Jessa Hastings. I believe this is book 4 in the Magnolia Parks universe. You guys know how we felt about that series. We absolutely hated the first book. I really enjoyed the second one. I'm gonna skip the third. I think I just like the Daisy Hates plotline a lot better, and I like those characters more, so I do want to continue on with her story. I know that the series was popular a couple years ago. I know that they're being re-released with like all of the new covers, but I know there's another Daisy Hates book after this one, so if I love this one, I'm gonna have to read that one. It's just time for me to continue on with this series, so I think it'll be a good summer one.
And my last one is The Only Survivors by Megan Miranda. Gorgeous cover. It also just gives summer. Actually, I don't know what this one is about. It says 7 hours in the past, 7 days in the present, 7 survivors remaining. Who would you save? I'm just gonna read a little bit from the bottom. It says something feels off this year. Cassidy is the first person to notice when Amaya, the annual organizer, slips away overwhelmed. This wouldn't raise alarm except for the impending storm. Suddenly they're facing the threat of closed roads and surging waters again. Then Amaya stops responding to her phone. After all they've been through, she wouldn't willfully make them worry, would she? And as they promised long ago, each survivor will do whatever he or she can to save one another, won't they? What?
Oh, so they're already survivors.
Yeah.
And they're back together, and that's why it says, like, again.
Amaya.
Something happened to her.
Or is she the one organizing all this?
Yeah.
That's too obvious, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to figure out what's happening here.
The last 2 I have picked out are just YA fun summer reads. So I have Sunkissed by Casey West, and I also have The Lifeboat Clique by Kathy Parks. I think these would both just be fun YA reads. So it says we're following a girl named Avy. Her best friend has just betrayed her. To make matters worse, her parents parents send her and her sister to a remote family camp for 2 months. And just when Avery is ready to give up on Summer, she meets Brooks, a mysterious, frustratingly charming guy who just happens to be on staff, which means he's off limits. I think that will just be cute. And in the lifeboat clique, we're following a girl named Denver. She sneaks into a Malibu beach party where she's surrounded by enemies, including her ex-best friend Abigail. During the party, a tsunami hits the coast of California, wiping out everything in its path. Denver and a handful of others escape death and are swept out to sea. Of course, one of her fellow castaways is none other than Abigail, who could barely stand the sight of her. They're gonna be best friends by the end of that. Just 2 fun, easy YA reads. Maybe if we go to the beach or something this year, I'll bring these along.
That is all of the books we have for today. I can't believe summer is already here. It just feels like we just started the year. Next, we'll be talking about our favorite fall books.
I know. I can't wait for fall.
Yeah.
All these look really colorful though. I can't wait to start reading these. Let us know in the comments what books you're excited to read in the summer, or if you have any summer recommendations, make sure to leave them below.
Reminder to join our Literal Besties book club if you haven't already. We are currently reading this book, so we will leave that linked in the description.
That is pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next time.
Y'all know what time it is. It is summertime.
What time is it? Summertime.
Summer.
I wasn't even gonna say anything. Oh, y'all know what time it is. It's summertime. Should we just get into it?
Yeah, love your shirt.
Thank you. It's my Florida shirt. Florida. I feel like we've gotten these books a while ago, and
This one I've been wanting to read for a while. I've also been wanting to weed.
oh, that was terrifying.
Okay.
Help!
Oh.
The last house guest is smart, twisty read with a strong free. The last house guest is a smart, twisty read with a strong female protagonist. Okay. Best-selling author Megan Miranda's The Last House Guest is a smart, twisty read with a strong female
Never mind.
protagonist. Well, last time protagonist. Okay. Megan Miranda's The Last House Guest is a smart, twisty read with a strong female protagonist determined to make her own way in the world. Just cut that last part out. It doesn't even matter. I do think when electricity goes out, like, things change.
I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know when it's really late at night and you could talk about things you wouldn't talk about during the day? I feel like it's the same concept. I don't know what I'm on about. The last 2 I picked out are just YA fun summer reads. So I have